Thanks. New developments this Friday in the case of Nathan Colon, the at the time 18-year-old, accused of hitting and killing a mom while street racing in Springfield back in 2024. Manslaughter has been added to his list of charges. 36-year-old Christine Andrews was crossing Boston Road on September 2nd, 2024, when investigators say a car driven by Colon struck her at a speed faster than 70 miles an hour, resulting in a gruesome scene. Originally, Colon was charged with motor vehicle homicide by reckless operator and leaving the scene of personal injury and death. He was arraigned last Thursday, February 5th, and the grand jury added the manslaughter charge. Colon is currently out on $1,000 cash bail and due back in court on March 5th.